Did you always want to become an entrepreneur growing up?
It wasn't my goal to be an entrepreneur. My goal was to be Stevie Wonder. And I'm still waiting. I think it's still, anything's possible, right?
Hi, I'm Tracy.
And I'm Jessica.
This is She's on Top, the nitty gritty.
This is a place where our guests share specific business tips and tools they've used to grow their brand.
We've implemented some on our channel and we'll let you know how that goes.
We'd also like your feedback and any tips you might have to share.
And as always, please subscribe.
And make sure to hit on that bell icon because that's how you'll get notifications of our videos.
Thanks for watching.
On my website, there's a shop tab and people can shop every room of my house and purchase as they like. And all of that, most of that is affiliate links. There's value to the audience. They can find out where the pillow that they like in my video is from, so that's value to them. And I get a little kickback if they click the link and end up buying the pillow, so it's mutually beneficial. If someone's interested in affiliate links, for Amazon affiliate links, you just apply. Reward style is another one that people use a lot of, and that you just reply. They have certain thresholds of, you have to have a certain number of followers or monthly unique views to get into those programs, but the threshold is lower than people think it would be. The payout is not tons, but all these little bits help. And if you're gonna have an online digital platform, diversifying your income and monetizing in various forms is really how you make your money. And so yeah, you apply and they give you an internal widget that you can then use. The ebooks are incredibly lucrative. The first one that I conceptualized was, I had done a video about sleep training my first son, and then I had broken it down into various age groups. And again, not from the perspective of I'm some guru who has everything figured out, of just like, I'm a mom, this is what I found worked for me. And then when it's online, I have it as a pinned comment on that sleep training video, so that sleep training video still gets great views. The first comment they see is saying, hey, if you want a step-by-step guide in how to put this into practice, here's the link to the resource. And so that's residual income. That content is what we call evergreen content. So it's content that people are constantly searching on YouTube. Oh, I'm sure there's websites and apps and all sorts of fancy stuff, but again, despite my life being online, I'm not super techie. So I wrote it in a Word document. I added my own pictures, and when it looked how I wanted it to look, I just saved it as a PDF. And then I use a third-party plugin that handles all the transactions through PayPal and stuff on my website. And it's like super click and drop stuff because homegirl's not gonna do any kind of internet coding. And that's it. And then I point the website to be the download once they've purchased the program, and it's an instant PDF download. Super easy. Initially, yes, you're gonna have to reach out to brands first. And I found something that was super helpful, because I am a talker, but the shorter the better. You'll be much more successful with, hey, I'm really passionate about your brand. My audience is as well. I have some great ideas for a collaboration opportunity. Let me know if you're interested. Just a little hook. 2 sentences. And then when they reach back, then you can start to get into, well, I've attached my 1-pager for your review. It's really just giving brands an idea of who you are. So who's your audience? Who are you? What do you offer? What kind of engagement and reach do you have? So how many subscribers do you have? How many views do you have? How many followers do you have? And then who's your audience? Because ultimately what brands are paying for is eyeballs, right? They want access to your audience. And so breaking down your age demographic, whether your male to female ratio, your geographic location, and all of that is in your analytics on YouTube anyways. Initially, when I would have brands come to me and I'm like, you're offering me, $6,000 to talk about something I love anyway, like start the car. Like initially I felt like I was getting off like a bandit, but then that wasn't really understanding my worth, right? And I also don't ever want to lose the trust that I've built with my audience. So I will, for no amount of money, endorse anything that I don't actually use and love. I have a clause in all of my contracts that I'm allowed to try products for a period of time without committing to any kind of video, because what I don't want is to receive a product, sign a contract to endorse it, and then I try the product, I don't love it, but now I'm locked into a contract. At this point in my career, anywhere between $2,000 to $15,000 a day of revenue that I could be earning, but I'm very picky about what I take and what I don't take. And I know that if I'm turning down the $10,000 deal, because it's not on brand, it's not something that's gonna add value to my audience, it's not something I would actually use, I trust that the next deal that's coming down the pipeline that's a better fit will build more trust with my audience, and it'll get better engagement, it'll get better reach, which will also get better brand deals down the road as well. You need to ask yourself how comfortable you are talking about money and how comfortable you are negotiating money. If you're super comfortable navigating in that space, initially to start, you probably don't need an agent. I was not comfortable in that space. And I also didn't know my worth. I didn't know what I should be charging, right? So I think for me, it was really helpful. I do think there is an element of professionality, is that a word? That comes across when you're pitching something if it's not coming from you. I think if I'm reaching out to a brand that I really want to work with, if it's coming from me, there's a little bit less of a professional feel than if it's coming from a third-party agent saying I'm representing X. I am a huge advocate for seeking professionals. So like whether it's like a business coach or I see a therapist, once a month, and then Dan and I both see the same therapist as a couple once a month as well. And that is non-negotiable in my budget. Like that is something I am making that appointment in the same way that I would make a doctor's appointment. Like I'm not missing that. And I think that comes down to self-care too, of just taking care. Part of being online is giving a lot and pouring out your energy a lot. And so I think it's really important to be careful that you're also filling the well and not draining yourself, because burnout can happen really easily in this industry. To manage your time, you have to be really diligent. So I have a Google Calendar that I use, and I have several Google Calendars that they're all color-coded. And I have things that I'm filming, the title of the video or what my intention is for that vlog. And then I have a separate calendar of when it goes live. And I make sure that I give myself enough time to edit between the two. I plan out all my blog posts in its own calendar, and so that I can really see what's happening across the entire brand in a month. I use Planoly for Instagram posts, and it helps me plan out my grid to make sure that it has a good visual appeal to it. I like Planoly because you can schedule posts, you can pre-write your captions, you can bulk save hashtag groups that you like to use if it's like a fitness post or a food post or a dog post or whatever. And so I use that for Instagram. I just started using Tailwind, which is really great for if you see an article when you're on Facebook or Pinterest or whatever and you think, oh, that would be something that my audience would really like. It's a widget that you can then, it'll automatically save all of those things for you, and then you can schedule them as Pinterest posts. There's a workaround so you can have it schedule as a Facebook post as well. People can smell when you're just out to get followers. And so you can't expect people to want to follow your Instagram, for example, and leave comments and like your posts if you're not engaging back with them, right? Like what is their value? What are they getting from your Instagram? And so the age-old proverb of like engage with your audience. And so commenting back when they're commenting to you is really important. Liking their photos, getting to know who your audience is, which is also valuable for your brand because you have a better understanding of who your target audience is, who are the eyeballs consuming your content, and you can curate your content to them. So I think it's, engagement is really key, and consistency is key too for the algorithm, right? Like if you're on Instagram, if you're taking 3 weeks off, your next post on Instagram isn't gonna hit as well as if you're consistently posting on Instagram. Now I will say though, I'm a big proponent of quality over quantity. So don't just put any old photo up because you need a photo up today. Quality is gonna always be key over quantity, but that comes into scheduling, right? Like sometimes I'll take a day and I'll take cute photos of the kids and photos of the dogs and whatever. And so I have, a bit of a pot of content that I can then put on Instagram when I have a day when I'm like, oh, it's 2 o'clock, my audience is online and I don't have anything to show. Another great piece of advice I got from listening to Jenna Kutcher's podcast is, what do you want your audience to do? You should always be asking your audience to do something in every post. Are you wanting them to like the photo? How are you gonna get them to like the photo? What do you need to say in the caption that makes it likable, right? Are you wanting comments? Well, you're not gonna get a lot of comments if you're just putting like a peace emoji and the heart eyes emoji, right? Like, you're not Kim Kardashian. You need to put something there that makes people want to comment, ask them a question, even if it's a hypothetical question of like, tell me I'm not the only one who, you know, had a crying kid today. There's two types of people online who are creating digital media. Those who want to be famous and those who want to add value and those who have a story to tell. And I think if you're after the fame and the money, it's a slippery slope. You'll get there, but it's a slippery slope, and it's at what cost? If your heart behind it is wanting to help others, adding value, sharing your story, being understood, and creating and having and living in a community, it will always be worth it.